Good afternoon. This is Jim Whitehead, Mr. Hurricane Guy. Oh boy, let me just quickly tell you, yes, it's about horses today, which is wonderful. We love our horses, we love our animals. Okay, what I spent this morning, why I'm kind of late today, I usually come in around 11-ish or go online around 11. We've got another hurricane heading toward us, and I don't want to say it stuck up on us because it didn't, but you just never know until you know. So we have this great backup, EcoFlow backup system, which right now, and we used it with Helene, has about 10 to 15 hours of backup in the storage in the batteries. That's good. And so, in other words, generally speaking, we're in good shape. But they're forecasting it's going to be north of us, I think. But bottom line, we're going to have, I hate to say, significant power loss. We had power loss about 3 hours with Helene, and then we had an hour the next day, which didn't make any sense, but that's the way. And if you can get a chance to look at my short and long, talking all about our electrical terrible infrastructure. And I don't, how would you say, sensationalize or clickbait at all. Because the minute you clickbait, people go, I'm not going to be involved with you. So anyway, here we are. But oh boy, we're going to have to go back. Thank you very much for letting me know. Oh, maybe okay, now we're going to start. Anyway, today we're all talking about horses. And yesterday was elephants. The day before, it was cats. The day before that, it was dogs. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do tomorrow, and it all depends on the storm. We'll probably do the best 10 storms out there. Not really, but you know how it goes. Anyway, let's get going. It's always good to be here, and you probably say, why are you so happy? Well, why not, right? Okay, first of all, the 10 things that you might know or might not know. And one of them is that horses can't breathe through their mouths. It's not that they have a small mouth. It's just the brain's not how would you say, connected for that. Luckily, we as humans, we can breathe and talk and breathe and talk and talk and breathe at the same time. There we go. Okay. They are designed to breathe solely through their nostrils. And I wanted to personify that fact by putting together, in this case, a picture of a horse breathing out in the cold. If that isn't a good way of saying, how do you prove that, Jim? Well, there you go. They can't breathe. They won't breathe through their mouth, so they're breathing through their nose, and they're probably saying, well, I'm not smoking dope or anything like that, so let's move on. Okay. Interesting. Horses sleep standing up. Horses can sleep both standing up and lying down. I did mention that yesterday, that they could lie down. I thought, and I've always felt bad for horses, that I'm saying, oh, they had to always sleep standing up. Well, and there was, I guess, a feeling that if they were lying down, they're sick. Well, luckily, that's not the case. They take naps, and hopefully this is a good depiction of an animal, the horse dreaming and sleeping. Okay, when standing, they enter a state of light sleep where they can quickly wake up if necessary. So that's pretty cool. They're saying, well, I got to stand up because I'm waiting for my master to come and feed me, but I'm going to take a quick nap. But when they walk near me, I have such good hearing that I'm going to wake up. And they'll say, yeah, I've been waiting for you. You're supposed to bring me food. I've been waiting here wide awake. Anyway, okay, the other thing goes right along with this. And I got to be honest, and I know you always say that, Jim. Does that mean you lie a lot? But bottom line, some of these, when you try to pull appropriate pictures, images of what you're saying, if you put into, and I use Leonardo AI, very, very good AI image generator. If you put in, show a horse that's got super hearing. How do you depict that? So you got to kind of go with the flow if it isn't something that we can specifically say or show. Okay, horses have excellent hearing. So again, if they're napping and you're bringing food, they will wake up. They have excellent hearing and can detect sounds at much lower frequencies than humans. Again, I talk a lot of little side things here. When you talk about cats, dogs, horses, elephants, they all have better senses, almost better brains than we have. And again, I'm not offending anybody that's watching this. This is all related to people that are not watching this, so they don't know. But anyway, in hearing, they can rotate their ears almost 180 degrees to pinpoint the source of the sound. Okay, here's another one where you're saying, it doesn't really fit, but we're doing our best. There are what we call wide-eyed wonders. Horses have nearly a 360 field of vision, allowing them to see almost everything around them without turning their heads. Now, I probably envy that fact. And again, this is just kind of like, trying to describe where animals are probably better than people. I'm blind in my left eye. Can't see at all. It was from an accident in 1970, a long time ago. I'm 75, so I was in my 20s. And I like to tell the truth. And if somebody learns something from what I've done wrong, maybe that's good. And this is embarrassing to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. Up until about 24 years old, would love partying. Now you're going to say, hey, I did the same thing. Problem is, and we would drink beer and we would have a ball. But I would, not all the time, but I'd have a tendency to drink too much. And I was in, and I'm telling you the truth, not making this up, 5 auto accidents because of drinking. And, come on, Jim. You got to, at the time, don't do this anymore. And B, you're lucky you're still here. And I think of that every day. And I am blessed to be here. And I can go on for a lot of things. But the biggest thing is, and I think things have gotten better, but don't drink and drive. Because you're going to either hurt yourself big time or kill yourself. Or you're going to hurt somebody else. And that's the big thing. Luckily, I really didn't have any other than my getting hurt. I had one issue with somebody in my vehicle, but they didn't really get hurt. So I can say that. Okay, now what are we talking about? Okay, back to the animals and horses. Horses have very quick reflexes. Now, again, this picture doesn't fit in a sense, but the point is, if they all of a sudden, they're running, and let's say, since they can hear and see well, let's say all of a sudden there's a big trench in front of them. Well, they can turn on a dime. And I know you're saying, that's an old saying, and that's a dime is pretty small. But anyway, bottom line, horses have lightning fast reflexes, making them excellent prey animals. They can react quickly to danger and can even jump over obstacles up to 6 feet high. Well, there we go. I always, when I watch a horse that's being ridden, to go over, you know what I'm talking about, boards that are up on whatever, and they jump. I always worry they're going to trip, and it just makes me feel a little bit better, I guess, maybe just a little bit better. Okay, moving on. And I know you're saying, thank God, Jimmy, move on. Okay, this fits a little bit. Horses are early risers. Fowls can walk and run within a few hours of being born. This helps them stay close to their mother and avoid predators. So, hey, the early riser gets the worm. I know you're probably saying, Jim, where are you getting all these sayings? Well, remember, when you're 75 years old, you have a lot of sayings up in the old noggin there. But anyway, the next pretty cool thing, we call them brainy equines. Horses are highly intelligent animals and can form strong bonds with humans. They are capable of learning complex tasks and can even solve simple puzzles. And I've done so many, parrots, cockatoos, bunch of animals that are smart and can learn, and gorillas, monkeys, I can go on and on. And we sit here and go, well, because humans can talk and so on and so forth, we must be smart. Well, in general, we're not, in a lot of ways. We always, and a lot of times, do things the hard ways. I don't know if you think about it yourself, but we sometimes do things backwards, or there would have been a better way. So, anyway, horses are smart. They go to college. And because they're horses, they don't have to pay anything. There you go. Okay. All right. So next, we're going to talk about the many, many different colors of horses. Horses come in wide variety of colors and patterns, including chestnut, bay, gray, and pinto. And also, even though it doesn't say there in what I'm reading, white, black. Hey, sometimes you don't get the whole story if you don't pay for it, right? Anyway, okay. Moving on again, we have, and let's look at our ancient horse. There you go. You're probably saying, come on, you're making it up. Ancient ancestors. The earliest ancestor of the horse is estimated to have lived about 55 million years ago. It was a small dog-sized creature called Eohippus. Eohippus. Say that a lot of times for me. Okay. Anyway, so that's the 55 million year old horse. They have a long life expectancy, right? No. Horses, unfortunately, I think, and that's not even in the content that I'm doing today, but horses, and it all depends how well they're cared for and food and so on and so forth. They live into their 20s, maybe a little bit over that, but unfortunately, and it's like with anything, and dogs especially, we love them so much, but they don't have a tremendous life expectancy. And, you know, I certainly pray for all the animals every night, but, you know, sometimes you can't fight City Hall. Sorry about that. Okay, now, I think this is the last one. Horses are very social animals and thrive in groups. That's pretty neat. In the wild, they live in herds, up to 30 horses. And, you know, we've seen a lot of, when we look at the wonderful, many different shows that put us out in Montana and Wyoming, you see these wild horses that are all wild and they're all just having a ball running. And sometimes somebody catches one and tries to domesticate them. And, you know, I'm not saying that's bad. As long as you treat them like gold, go ahead. Because they might enjoy a regular meal, a regular place to sleep, and they can go to college. So, anyway, I guess that's about all I can talk about right now. Anyway, wish us the best on the hurricane. And, you know, again, back to all, and we're going to have some more sad stories, I hate to say, because, again, this storm is going to threaten with winds that could be Category 4, Category 5, and they're predicting more of, you know, when you watch the cone, I'm down in Naples. I'm about 3 hours, give or take, south of Tampa. And, you know, it's like with anything. We don't want anybody hurt. We don't want anything damaged. Now, as you know, with a storm a year or more ago, you know, time goes so quickly, that Fort Myers got totally creamed. And, you know, this could also very negatively affect them again. But anyway, thank you. God bless everybody. And thank you again for being here. I've had a lot of fun today. I mean, is this great that I can do this stuff? And, you know, I feel like, I know you've already said thank you, Jim. Why don't you just move on? I feel the fact that I'm able to do these programs, whether you like them or not, I would appreciate if you do, but it helps me thinking, planning, and creating. And creating is one of the neatest things that humans can do, is create so many different things. But anyway, I want to thank you for being here, and I'll keep you updated. I'll probably be on tomorrow, but I don't think Wednesday, because that's when we're going to have some power losses. And of course, I went to Home Depot and Lowe's. I have a nice backup, and I mentioned that, but I needed a generator. And I ordered a generator. It came, it was wrong. I had to send it back. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And now I'm without a generator. So we only have about, 10 hours if we stretch it to maybe 15 hours of power, which is certainly better than having no power if we lose power, which we will. And again, I have to refer you back to our terrible, everything's above ground, up on wooden poles. And guess what? When the winds get to 25 or more, one, you're now going to probably lose power. Two, when it gets to 40, the local utility company won't send anybody out. So until the winds drop below 40, you're not going to have any help. And B, if it's pretty strong storm, trees are going to come down in addition to the electrical. And then they'll say, well, I was going to go to the Whiteheads and fix their above ground pole, but I can't get down the road because of trees being down. I know you're sitting there going, and again, I'm not trying to lengthen this. I have to do the opposite. But if somebody came from another planet and they said, hey, I don't know what they'd be saying, but hey, what's that thing sticking up out of the ground and that thing on the top and these whatever connecting? I said, okay, well, that's a wooden pole. That's called we used to call them telephone poles. I don't know why, but that's an electric pole. That transformer that's up on top of the pole is how we get electricity. And they would look at me and go, but that's out in the weather. That's out in the heat. That's out in trees coming down, poles coming down. And you just say, well, yeah, it's been like that for over 100 years. And guess what? The utility company, to expedite fixing, if a pole goes down, unless it's totally impossible, they'll put the pole back up again. The same pole. So you'd say for the next storm, is that pole as strong as it was for the storm that it came down with? And you'd say, no. And that person from the other planet would go, boy, you guys are sure behind the times. We just have to think and we have electricity. So anyway, thank you again. I'll keep you updated. Thank you.